Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 101 edition of How Did This Get Booked? I, of course, am your host, Jake Manning. I'm a veteran of the professional wrestling business for over a decade, and I've held every single job except selling popcorn. I'm joined by a man who is jumping into the next 100 episodes of How Did This Get Booked, kicking and screaming.
I was kidnapped.
You are a man who's disgusted that we are here today for episode 101, Zane Riley. Zane, how are you doing today?
I'm here.
See, and that's the thing. We had to get past the 100 because I know how you are about round numbers.
No, I can't end it on it. I can't end it on anything.
We can't end it on episode 121. Like, that would be absurd. What crazy person would do that? That's just absurd. That is like a man who goes in and prepays for gas and wants $17.51. What maniac does that? That is a crazy person.
That is a crazy person. So here I am.
Here we are.
We tried out many people. None of them worked. I wanted to give my place to someone else, give someone else 100 episodes. Nope. No one else wanted it. Nobody. I tried to give this baby away. Nobody wanted this kid.
No. Well,
I was like, bye-bye, baby. And they were like, nope.
You left it outside of a firehouse.
That's right.
But apparently they because of deregulation we repealed that law where you can just leave a baby outside of a fire department, and there'll be no or a church, and no questions are asked. But because of deregulation, because of the Republican Party, that law no longer exists anymore because that requires too much from government installations. So
thanks, Trump.
So you had to keep that. You have to keep all your babies. That's what the government's trying to tell you right now. You have to keep all of your children. You can't just drop them off into safe arms. No, you're
you got a madman at the wheel again.
You got a madman at the wheel again. So hang on tightly, my friend.
And we're here. Hi, Jake.
We're here. But
you know who else is here?
Who else is here?
Yeah.
Know who else is here?
101 to 200. Zane Riley does segues.
Davidator 70. He is here at the top of Apple Podcast reviews. Dave, hopefully by now you have given me your mailing address and your shirt size, and I have gotten your free How Did This Get Booked t-shirt out to you because you did such a wonderful job leaving a review, which consisted of cool, very funny, love these guys. And that's all you need for a free t-shirt. You know what, Dave Nader 70? You could have left less.
Could have said cool.
You could have said just cool, and I would have mailed you a free t-shirt. Yeah. The mail.
Don't tell John Moxley. He hasn't got a free t-shirt yet for saying it.
No, he has not. Right to my face, too. Every time I see him now, I just think about that. Cool. Sometimes when I see his wife on TV, I think about that. So, also, too, another person who's cool is Keaton's, whose review was, always enjoy hearing about the business from Jake and Zane's perspective. That's all that needs to be said. Keaton's, hopefully I've given you a free shirt out because, like I said, anybody that leaves a review on Stitcher or Apple Podcasts, which helps the algorithm, definitely on Apple Podcasts. I don't know if it helps on Stitcher or not, but I open it up to everybody. A couple of people I've mailed out 2 free shirts to just because, that's...
We got all these shirts.
I laid down the gauntlet, but I know it really helps on Apple Podcasts, especially on, more successful podcasts when they see a related podcast or similar podcasts. Now, we need a certain amount of reviews to kind of pop up on a Talk is Jericho or Stone Cold podcast or one of Conrad Thompson's podcasts. So please take the time to leave a review. I can't tell you how much it helps. It does. It really, really does. I've seen a lot of podcasts grow because of this, and I've made it kind of a big part of the show. That's why I put it at the top of the show now, and that's why I'm dedicated to bringing you guys a free t-shirt for leaving a review because I can't thank you enough for doing so. Even though you only left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6 words reviews. You can leave 4 words. Well, I don't care. I love you all the same.
Doesn't even have to be a haiku.
Doesn't even at all. So,
or a haku.
Who was supposed to be on the wrestling show this weekend, but couldn't make it this weekend.
No, well.
But who could make it?
Vader, the best ever. It's time. It's time for an episode, Jake. Jake, what are we doing today? Tell him about it, Jake. It's time. It's Vader time.
Well, Leon White, we are discussing We're doing another pop culture episode because people seem to like them. That's why we're doing more of them, and we're going to see if that moves the numbers. And we are discussing a pro wrestler, debatable point.
Emphasis on pro.
Emphasis on
professional.
Professional. A wrestler who is, let's take out the pro part. That's a little more. We're discussing a wrestler who made an appearance in pop culture. And as somebody.
Tell me about it, Jake. Tell me about it. I am the face of fear. A monster.
Face of an asshole. We were talking about the Boy Meets World episode, the Thrilla in Phila, which
Philadelphia.
They live in Philadelphia.
I guess I would assume that the only thing it could make sense.
I assume it's from season 2, episode 21, which aired May 5th, 1995.
Cool.
Which features
the face of death, the master. Say my name, Jake. It's me, Vader. Say my name.
I can't even fucking say his name.
Say my name.
No, I don't want to.
It's time. It's time you come clean with yourself.
Listen, I know you
love me.
I know you have a hard time dealing with the word consent, but I do not consent but to say your name. I know you think that everybody should do your bidding and everybody is beneath you, but I will not put you over. Not on this episode. And I'm not talking about Ben Savage.
We should always put over.
Even though you are the weakest of the Savages, I've been a Fred guy.
It goes Fred, Macho Man, and then you.
Yes, pretty much. It's Fred, Randy, then Ben. Those are how I rank my Savages in my lifetime. Because that's the funny thing about this is I know people who are obsessed with Boy Meets World, and like
I don't fucking get it.
I don't fucking get it either. And I think you and me might be right at that line of people that by the time that Boy Meets World became like a thing, like we were already too old for that shit.
Maybe. Or maybe it's just one of those nostalgia things where people just, I remember this being real cool, and then you watch it again as an adult and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you could say the thing about A-Team too.
Yeah,
but I'll still watch an episode of A-Team.
You can say that about Baywatch, but
well, we'll get into that discussion a little bit, my friend.
I'm sure.
Oh, deep dive, my friend. You can't run from a pop culture episode and not talk about Baywatch.
Talk about Baywatch,
and you'll see why.
Because Vader was there. Mastodon, face of death.
Okay, well, back to Boy Meets World not being as over as it should be. Much like a wrestler that wore red and black and a jockstrap as a face.
I'm not going to talk about Kane like that, dog.
Not who I was talking about, not old Glenbow. But no, Boy Meets World, it was part of the TGIF lineup. Yeah. And for me, the classic TGIF lineup was always a Full House at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Because that's where I grew up, at Central Standard. It'd be 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock here, yeah.
8 o'clock here. 7:30 Central Standard Time, which I'm going to keep going back to Central Standard.
Yeah, please. Why wouldn't you?
Family Matters.
Yes, Family Matters.
And then for me, I think in the wheelhouse of a Perfect Strangers was right there at that 8 o'clock.
I thought Perfect Strangers rounded it out.
Sometimes it did.
Okay.
Because it rounded it out for a while, but then they moved it to the 8 to kind of tentpole it, and then that 8:30 Central Standard Time would either be Step by Step.
Okay, I remember Step by Step being mine was, so we're the same one basically.
Yeah, so Step by Step, and then eventually Boy Meets World came along, and then like
fucked it all up.
Yeah, fucked it all because Perfect Strangers left the 8, and then Step by Step became the 8.
So. Yeah, because I remember it being Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step, Perfect Strangers,
and that 8:30, that spot right before 2020.
Yeah.
Was always floating around. There would be like 12s, like 8's Enough, Camp Wilder, which had Jay Moore in it, very early Jay Moore, They tried to put a lot of things in that 8:30. I think even like
Dinosaurs was there a minute.
Dinosaurs was there for a minute. I think Family Matters started at that 8:30, and then they moved it earlier.
Yeah.
I think it was always an odd choice to put Boy Meets World in that 8:30 because that's getting close to people's bedtimes, and this is primarily the younger audience. So you'd want like the older, but as TGIF evolved, there were no like older shows where Perfect Strangers fit well at that 8:30, but then that went away. So we're talking about programming right now.
Yeah.
So
that's how little we give a fuck talk about this episode.
No. There's not a lot to discuss. When I saw when I saw 23 minutes, I was like, yes. Yes, fucking yes. Yes, fucking this. Yes, all this. Fucking yes. Especially after watching a 3-hour-long TNA pay-per-view that was actually good. Like, after episode 99, doing a 23-minute subject was quite nice.
Right up your alley.
Right up my alley. Like I said, Ben Savage is in this show. I didn't go through the entire cast because it's pretty.
Ryder Strong is the buddy's name.
Okay.
Whatever the dumb one's name is.
Sean.
Sean is Ryder Strong. Topanga's name is Daniel Fishel. Mm-hmm. And I think it's Adam Scott is randomly in this fucking show.
I didn't know fucking Adam Scott was in Boy Meets World.
Me either. Then Ethan Suplee is the big. Is Vader's son.
We're going to do an hour-long episode very easily because of all the pauses.
Drink me in, Man Scout. I'm Vader. My voice is only in your head. Zane cannot hear me. Do not talk to him or look to him for answers. It's only you and me in here. Jake. Face of death.
I feel... I'm fighting the urge to answer back to you with my Harley Race impersonation.
And just slap the shit out of me.
Just slap the shit out of you and do a visual bit on an audio podcast.
Yep.
And be like, I told that motherfucker, get out of my mind, Leon. Leon, don't be such a goddamn bitch, okay? Just do the fucking finish. Get all the fucking money and then leave town and go to the fucking next one, you dumb motherfucker.
Oh, Harley.
Speaking of Harley and jocks, that's what.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
We'll make that. Sometimes we do that. Sometimes we do the transitions and they just work better in post.
Yeah. I don't know what post is though. We're here.
No, we
don't have a post.
This is not 10 Bell Pod where we obsessively go on and on about like post production and tying things together and then get mad when our producer doesn't get things out in a timely fashion.
Post is non-existent here.
The post is non-existent.
This is post and present at the same time. We're an anomaly.
This isn't even the clubhouse. This is the end of the bar and we're shit-faced drunk.
Yeah.
Okay? Like this is what this is.
This is what you get.
This is what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you get, kids. And what Corey gets is a spot on the wrestling team because they just need somebody to fill the spot because the 105 weight class, it's tough to fill.
It is.
I as being a kid that was on the wrestling team, getting the guy in the smaller spots, sometimes you would get that forfeit because you wouldn't have that many small kids. Mm-hmm. So if you're a team that can fill all the spots, you might get a forfeit, especially if you live in a smaller community and not that many people go out for the wrestling team. So you get all these forfeits. And dual meets, that's a big crucial thing. Not so much in tournaments, but definitely in dual meets, that's a big deal. So that's another thing too. Yeah, in tournaments, like he wouldn't be able to get a forfeit, but like dual meets.
I mean, I think we're overlooking the part that he's never wrestled before ever, and never goes to a training.
I think we're also glazing over the fact that I don't think this wrestling team knows what wrestling is.
Yeah,
like I think they're confused.
Yeah,
like because there are times where wrestling is. Like, oh, we're going to go wrestle. And you're thinking that somebody's going to, like, grab and wrestle and do an ankle pick. And they're like, all right, let's wrestle. Drop kick.
Yep. sure is.
I can feel like that's what it is. But then they just decide that, Corey, you're on the wrestling team.
Yep.
Here's your jacket and here's your candy.
Here's your girlfriend and your singlet.
Yep. Which, candy. That's where it all ties in, my friend.
Mm.
This is where you find out that everything is connected at the end of the day. And we're all connected. and everything makes sense. Candy is played by Kelly Packard, who appeared on Baywatch as a regular from 1997 to 1998. She was on 2 seasons of Baywatch. I believe her name was April, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't write that down, but it's drawing.
Who was she to who?
Who was she to who?
Yeah, like was she one of the lifeguards?
She was one of the lifeguards.
Okay.
Yeah, she was a Baywatch babe. She was on the show. She was one of the lifeguards for sure. Kelly Packard. She was on the show.
That would have been the next year after this. This is what, 96?
That's what's. We're gonna get into some very fucking creepy, but we're like episode 100. We talked about misogyny, the other F word. We're gonna get into some fucking weird shit that fucking comes up, especially like the fucking end scene of this is fucking bonkers on a lot of levels. But I just want to make sure that we get all the beats of this. But Topanga is very, very jealous of Candy. Topanga's she's writing the yearbook, and now Corey's on the wrestling team trying to make something happen. His parents are happy that he's on the wrestling team. And then his
dad is. His mom is not.
Mom is not. Dad's excited because I guess his dad like boxed in the Navy, which is, let's see,
not relatable.
This show came out in the 90s. So if let's say his dad is, if Corey's of this age, dad's in his 40s.
Sure. Late 40s.
Maybe early 40s.
Okay.
Because Corey would be in high school, so that's 15. So let's subtract 15 from 35. He'd be 20. So maybe let's just say 40 because it's a nice round number.
Okay.
So 40s. So Corey's like 15, 16-ish in that range right there. So if we work back from 1995, and let's just do 15 because it's easier. That means his dad was in the Navy in 1980. Okay, so he's not dealing with too much right now.
Not a whole lot going on.
Unless he was dealing arms in the Iran Contra. Like that's
like one might do.
One might do at that time.
But either way, he could still be boxing.
Yeah, but he could still be boxing. I was just trying to think like if he was in the Navy, like.
Would he have been in the shit?
Yeah, would he have gone through Vietnam? Like I was trying to think, like I think he's just a decade past Vietnam. I was like, man, what was some shit? The fucking like Corey's dad from Boys Meet World has got like fucking like
he shows up and just straight kills Vader.
Yeah, like he's got some like got some fucked up shit, like he has war flashbacks and shit like that, and PTSD and all kinds of shit like that. But no, it'd be mostly during peacetime, I guess. So. Or I was even thinking, like, well, what if it's a little too late for him to have been serving during Desert Storm as well, too. So just missed out on that. Perfect.
Good time to go.
Good time to be in the Navy, Corey's dad.
Way to go.
Yeah, no issues there. At least what we could tell. But yeah, then we get like Adam Scott with Mr. Feeney.
Yeah.
Just still amazed that Adam Scott was in Boy Meets World.
Wow. As a prominent character, it would seem.
Very, very prominent. The
head bully.
Unfucking aware. And then, of course, then Mr. Turner shows up. I forgot Mr. Turner was like a big part of the show.
The younger teacher.
Teacher. Wear a leather jacket. It's cool.
And he drove the motorcycle.
Yeah.
This was before Ryder Strong got a black girlfriend.
What?
Yeah, he had a black girlfriend in the show.
All right.
Sean, a black girlfriend.
Okay. Yeah. So,
I want to say at some point the older brother.
I'm sorry. Every time I hear you say it, I thought you said Roderick Strong.
Yeah, Roderick Strong.
And then that's what made me go, huh? Really? And I had to think about like, right, Roderick Strong. I'm thinking.
I want to say at some point the older brother lived with the cool teacher too, like they were roommates.
Yeah, I remember that being something, and that's weird.
Yeah,
but we get into some weirder stuff.
Yeah,
we'll get into weirder stuff.
Guys, what we're saying is Boy Meets World was really problematic, and nobody wants to admit it.
Yeah, I think if you there's the love of like Corey and Topanga is discussed. So like obviously the idea of liking somebody and potential of sex, because we're talking about teens.
Yeah.
They glaze over that fact, but there was also some fucking going on, and there was some other stuff and some opportunities that people could have, if they were nefarious, could have took advantage of the situation. Yeah. But Joey the Rat's starting to take advantage of the situation and getting on the wrestling team because he knows he's got to beat Corey because Corey is basically not even training, not even doing anything, but Joey wants to be on it real bad, and Frankie helps him training. And like I said, Joey's just like, all right, let's go out and wrestle, and throws a fucking drop kick. What the fuck?
Hey.
That's not how you do amateur wrestling. And I think the writers of this episode, you can't tell them otherwise.
Yeah. They don't agree.
That's the complete opposite of my fucking life. Because I can't tell you how many times when I meet somebody new and they're like, oh, what do you do? Or this or that or whatever. And if they hear I've been over here, I travel, I know this stuff. Like, and it comes up, and it's appropriate for me to say, oh, I'm a wrestler. They're like, oh yeah, like, and they'll go, man, I really dig that, like wrestling stuff like that. I used to do that like years ago in high school. Like, where do you go for your meets?
Yeah. I always get what's your weight class? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, those things. Like, people, like, I'm obviously a grown individual.
Yeah. You think I still troll around schools, beating the shit out of kids?
But, like, did you not see the news where they almost, like, didn't have freestyle wrestling in the Olympics? Like, why does that seem like a viable career thing for an adult to do? Like, you clearly see I'm an adult. You clearly see I'm not in high school right now. Yeah. But, like, you immediately think it's just freestyle amateur wrestling when I say that I'm a wrestler. And then you hear, and basically you ask that question because you heard I was traveling around to all these places and all these shows, and I tell you I'm a wrestler, and you think those are amateur freestyle wrestling matches. And you think that. But then the writers of this show was like, oh no, high school wrestling, that was just like WWE.
Yeah, drop kicks and stuff. We've got Vader. It's got to be, right?
Yeah, so like... it's the complete opposite of what I'm used to. Like, normally you think the other is the other, and whatever, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Or maybe you don't. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be very hard for me to explain myself to people for a few weeks. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry.
Jake just learned a lot about himself, so like it's gonna be hard for him to.
I just got back from vacation. You don't understand. Like, I just took a nice little trip. I just fucking. Learned some things about myself.
Now, dialysis works with love.
I'm like, I gave my love to my girlfriend, and in return, it came back to me, and I know what love feels like now. Life is complex now. All I know is me and Matt Seidel are going to hang out a lot more.
Yeah, we're just going to expand our minds.
Like, make sure you watch that episode of the Fireside Chat.
Oh, man.
And then part 2 of that eventually.
I did a podcast with Jason Kincaid once, and all we did was talk about the time we did mushrooms. And how great that is. I get it, man. I know.
Good, you know. Not that I would know. It's not like I've dabbled with psychedelics at all. Not even at all.
You didn't do mushrooms.
I didn't do mushrooms. So, okay. We got through the mom and dad. You're talking about boxing, and we're almost done. We're almost done. We almost got through 5 minutes of this episode already. Yeah. We've already scuffed just about everything. So, the wrestling match between Joey and Corey.
Okay.
What the fuck was that? Like,
it was just one move and a pin, right? Get out of the way of Joey.
Yeah, Joey ran at him full bore. Corey stepped to the side and then
picked the leg and
gingerly tripped him, and then laid on top of them, but pinned him. Kind of barely put any pressure on his arms to hold him down, and Joey struggled not even in the slightest.
No,
lied there and just waited for Corey to finish.
Well, he was waiting for him to start that 3 count. He was trying to make a moment of it so he could kick out last second.
He did not.
No,
and
you
don't need a 3 count in amateur. You just need the shoulders to be flat. Yeah. And really, it would have been over very fast, but they did a 3 count, and he didn't fight at all.
Nope.
That wrestling match was the fakest thing I've ever seen before. My match with a tent
well, that's real.
Is 10 times more realistic than what this wrestling match was choreographed to be. 10 times. Prove me wrong.
Oh no, you're right. No disagreement.
I'm going to keep waving my hand. I'm going to keep doing a visual thing on an audio podcast.
I get it.
So,
Just saying.
I'm just saying. I am once more people see my match with the tent. I've been pulling evidence that I will use down the line, like this match. Bully Ray Dudley being hooked by a ho-ho on a hook in this fish market street fight. All those things. I'm coming up with all the things that when people come out of the woodwork to tell me how fake and how I've killed the business, I will produce examples of that. And this wrestling match right here is exhibit number B for sure. Number B, because the one with Bully Ray definitely is number one, because he's probably the lead charge of saying that I killed the business.
Yeah.
So I'm getting that ready. But yeah, this right here, this was on national television. This is what they thought even amateur wrestling was. I wonder what Dan Gable would think.
Who's Dan Gable? Oh, never mind. Is that Gable of?
No, that's the fucking man, Dan Gable, the guy who was undefeated and beat the fucking Russians. He was
See on Firefox or Foxfire or whatever. That movie?
No, Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher.
No. Dan Gable, I think he was undefeated through high school and college, but he lost his last match in college, and like it fucking
destroyed him,
tore him apart so much. He had qualified for the Olympics, and that caused him to go. That one loss drove him to a level of insanity that fucking made him fucking kick the fucking Russians' ass in the Olympics that year. Like, he went on a fucking tear.
Nice.
Like, I think he's like some legendary story where they didn't even score a point on him through the fucking whole Olympic tournament or something like that. But it was all based off of one fucking loss. But he was like this unbelievable stud. But then he lost one fucking match, and it drove him over the fucking edge. But it was the reason that drove him to be an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah. And
then he went on to become the head coach at Iowa and made Iowa like this long-standing powerhouse in collegiate wrestling for years. And now he basically is he's the commentator of Iowa wrestling. He's no longer the coach, but like people have come from his coaching tree and wrestled underneath him. He was like the most intense individual ever. Like, he could probably like fucking destroy men a third of his fucking age, half his age. Like, he's just a tough son of a bitch. So yeah. Legend in Iowa wrestling.
There you go.
I believe I got all the legend correct. It's been a while since I've studied up on his.
Brushed up on your.
I probably need to brush up on my Dan Gable before the next time I go back to the Hawkeye State, or else they're not going to let me in.
They're not going to let you in. They're going to make you. They're not going to let you go to your Iowa machine shed.
No, they're not. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to go to the Iowa machine shed and get my pork. I won't be able to order pork in Iowa. Like, you can't. At all. If you don't know who Dan Gable is, you're not allowed to eat pork in Iowa, and that, my friend, is just a fucking crime. That is a crime. Much like this match was. And then Joey basically hounds Corey and calls him yellow because he wants a rematch, but he wants an actual fight.
Yeah.
Even though you're building this match, you had the match.
You
lost. And then all of a sudden he kind of turns into David Copperfield.
Just showing up in lockers and trash cans.
Wherever.
They called him Collect.
Because that was a thing. That was a thing in the 90s. Thing. Yeah, 1-800-COLLECT.
Yeah.
Old fucking David Arquette.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 1-800-COLLECT. Yeah. Like that weird looking face.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So then old Griff sets it all up. We're gonna have this wrestling match in the gym
because he's got a guy he can get in there.
Because he stole the keys.
Yeah.
And they have a kind of a quasi ring.
They have almost as much of a ring capability as they did in our last movie.
Yeah, they exactly. Like, at least
somebody had to set that shit up.
Yeah, somebody had to set that mat up and then put ropes up.
And Griff ain't that guy. Griff's got a guy. Griff ain't that guy.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I think it's funny is that this is where I really question the writers. We're like, do you know what high school wrestling is at all? Like, you definitely don't know what pro wrestling is at all. No. Because you would have got an actual ring, but you got let's put ropes up on a mat. That's wrestling, right? Like, this is why the show is created, and that's why we have guests on from time to time now, or we used to have them all the time. Is because the the fucking common person's perception of professional wrestling baffles me. Like, I don't know a lot about tennis, but I'm aware of some of the things about it. I'm aware of a lot of things that I don't know about, but I come into it with like, I'm not going to, if I don't know something, I'm going to do the research, and if I have to present something on it. These writers do zero fucking research on what any of this is. And they're just like, yeah, we'll just fucking do that. Yeah, we'll just fucking do that.
Guys, this is a 20-minute show. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit? Fuck it. You know, like those things. Like that's what, like you wouldn't like, this wouldn't be a tennis episode and then you would fucking show up with a ping pong table and then have people playing with tennis rackets.
Yeah.
That's basically what this is. And that's the fucking, if like you playing ping pong with tennis rackets on a ping pong table. That's what this fucking ring stands for. Or not even a ring. It's fucking a pad with a mat with fucking ropes around it, which are loose as shit for whatever reason. But
well, they're not going to hit their tackle drop down spots, bud.
Oh, definitely not. And then of course Griff got, yeah, it's the whole thing that he made this as big as possible. I'm guessing Griff is just a rich kid that has.
He's like the head bully that just has money.
He just has money.
Because he had like a masseuse come in class earlier.
Yeah, we established that. So it does do a good job of establishing who the characters are, even if you're watching this for the first time.
Yeah.
But he has Rene Goulet. No, excuse me.
Who?
Rene Goulet. I'm sorry, Rene Goulet is on my mind because he like died and nobody knew about it for 6 or 8 months.
He lives there right now.
Yeah, and I just thought it was a cool thing. Like, oh, they're just fucking like, that's a cool thing. Like, you're just so underneath the radar that people don't even know you're dead for 6 or 8 months. But then somebody, then somebody said that like they probably did that because his family was probably collecting paychecks.
Yeah.
So.
Checks.
So, Robert Goulet.
Yeah.
He showed up to sing a very abbreviated version of
just the first part and the last part.
Yeah. Like that was weird, right?
Yeah.
Like that. Like, and was that supposed to be comedy or was that like
Everybody said, and that's you don't even put your hand on the heart for that song.
Yeah,
and everybody does.
I know you're supposed to pay for the national anthem.
That's why everybody always did that.
Yeah,
that's why Mania always did it.
Mania did "America the Beautiful" because you don't have to.
You have to pay for that.
Yeah, so you don't have to pay for that for whatever reason. But you have to pay for the national anthem, so you do the beginning and the end. But like, why don't you make the joke of like that's all I could afford?
Yeah,
like there's a missed joke right there that they could have had.
But then he goes like, "All right, who's ready to rumble?" It's like, "Oh, you got to pay for that too, bud."
Yeah, that's another thing too. You got to pay for that.
That's
for sure.
A lot.
Yeah, you had to pay that for a lot.
Yeah.
So, but then he also paid for Yasmin Bleeth to be there
randomly, and then she makes out with Adam Scott, which good for you, bud.
Yeah, but he's a high schooler.
Yeah.
She's at this time got to be late 20s or 30s. If I'm not
I would assume that Griff has been held back a few times. I could see Griff at least being 18, 19 in high school.
So so you think he's 18?
Well, in this, like he would to be portrayed. I think he is of age. I think everyone else is probably underage. By the guys of the show, not in real life. I'm sure Adam Scott was like 20 something.
Oh, I mean, fucking Kelly Packard here is going to be like running around in a fucking red bikini or a red swimsuit.
Yeah.
On television here in about a year or two.
The only people that look old enough to go to this school is Corey Matthews.
Oh yeah, is there ever a discussion of Griff being like of age?
I don't believe so. No, going into this blind.
Going into this blind?
No, she's making out with a high school kid.
She's making out with a fucking high school kid.
And then his brother thinks he's gonna go and try to do the same.
Yeah, like weird, right?
Yeah.
Fucking weird,
hey, man. Different time.
Listen, people have lost their jobs over something like that before. Lost their jobs. Which I for a while was doing a comedy bit. I think it's smart. I probably need to come back to it. Is that how fucking shitty it is when you see, like, every time a female teacher ends up like hooking up with a high school like boy. There's always Facebook. You never let me down on this. You never let me down. If there's one thing I can fucking count on, it's death, taxes, and that when a female high school teacher hooks up with a male high school student, somebody on Facebook will be like, where were those teachers at when I was going to school?
Yeah.
You never let me down, Facebook. You never, ever fucking let me down in the shittiness of fucking society in that aspect. But what I always think, because they always talk about, well, he's too young to have consent, and, this is irreparable damage. And these are things that people ask, and this is why that is what it is. Mm-hmm. But yet you're willing to let me play high school football.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a weird fucking like hypocrisy that exists. Yeah, like you are allowing me to forget my first ever blowjob, especially if it was from a 22-year-old. Like that's what I don't fucking understand. Like you're willing to let me get brain damage, but not getting a hand job and definitely not remembering it.
Have some of the CTE.
Yeah,
but none of that HJ.
Or spinal damage like I got.
Yeah.
So, which I had before I came into pro wrestling.
How's that working out?
Well, don't worry. My Kurt Angle arm is just getting smaller and smaller by the days go by. I'll be Mr. Wonderful in no time. Listen, no Kobe jokes, but Mr. Wonderful jokes, they're on the board. They're still on the table because Mr. Wonderful yelled at me one time. Because I didn't know where his gimmick table was.
Oh.
I didn't have that information, and he fucking screamed at me in the fucking hotel lobby of the Duval for a wrestle reunion. So, Mr. Wonderful, fucking, I hope that arm gets a little bit smaller.
Yeah. Suck it.
Suck it. And who else can suck it? 11-time world champion.
Oh, it's time. Who, Jake? It's time.
I told that motherfucker.
God damn it, Harley, I gotta go.
Take that Boy Meets World money. You know that show with all the pedophiles on it? Take their goddamn money. Take the money. Take it. Old Leon shows up in his favorite singlet, which is red and purple. As we all know, that's the look that we know of Vader.
Yeah.
He shows up, and I guess he is Frankie's father.
Yep.
I think he makes several other appearances in the show.
Yes, he does come back at least. Well, they actually go to a wrestling show.
Yeah, that's what I thought this one was.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay, good.
That's why I asked you what one you watched.
No, I wanted to see the first one where he's introduced.
Yes, well, this is it.
Maybe we'll go down the other ones as well. Maybe. I don't know.
I think like Mick Foley comes along eventually, right?
Bruce Pritchard's in one.
Oh.
Because he talks about it. He was like a commentator. So maybe we'll get to those. I mean, I dragged you through Baywatch. And even...
I'm not going to drag you through Boy Meets World, don't worry.
Even in this Boy Meets World episode, I still drug you through Baywatch.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I've been through a whole lot of Baywatch.
You have been through a lot of Baywatch. Way more Baywatch than you expected.
Exactly.
Into this.
Like when I signed on at episode 1.
Yeah, like 100 episodes ago, I didn't think I was going to watch this much Baywatch.
Yeah. I thought that Baywatch ship had sailed.
You thought that yellow speedboat had sailed off into... It was gone, and the only boat that you would be sailing on is the Thunder boat that was in Thunder in Paradise.
I was about to say, I expected to watch way more Thunder in Paradise and way less Baywatch.
We need to circle back to Thunder in Paradise.
Maybe it's time.
Maybe it is time for Thunder in Paradise 2. I may have to buy the DVDs of those, though. I don't think that's streamed anywhere, unfortunately. So
probably the same place you bought Body Slam.
Yeah, there's a 3-disc set out with all the Thunder in Paradises.
Ooh.
Yeah, they made 3 movies of it on top of an actual series.
All right, 101. Last one from me, guys. Catch you later.
That's where you're tapping out?
No, gotta go. Let you finish this one up on your own.
Well, Corey didn't even finish this match on his own. He brought his friend into the ring, and there was even a spot of duck the clothesline, corner boot, sidewalk slam, body slam.
Sure,
just
take it how you want it.
Pick him up, drop him down.
Kind of just let him go.
Yeah.
The way you would wrestle with your friends on the fucking sofa.
Yeah, kind of that.
Yeah.
And then Frankie gets tagged in, and then fucking his buddy Eric gets in. He's throwing headbutts. Like, I feel like they're just like, they set this ring up. They had all these child actors, and they're like, you've seen pro wrestling before.
Just do it.
Do whatever your favorite move is.
Yeah.
You know?
Pile driver, goddammit.
Like, and when you clearly have this guy who is, I'm not going to use the word pro. You have a wrestler over here who could probably come over and help and choreograph and suggest like, well, this is how you do this move and make these scenes better.
Yeah.
But instead, probably sat over in the corner, was grumpy, was surly. When they asked him to go do the job that they paid him for, he was like, breathing all heavy. Okay. What am I doing again? All right, I'll do my Vader. I'll do my Vader shit. All right, I'll do my, okay. Vader, bullshit. All right, I'm going to go sit down. Like, instead of helping these kids that are excited to see a wrestling superstar, even though that person probably doesn't earn the title of superstar, he could have helped out, could have instructed, could have been polite, probably wasn't at all, just sat over in the corner and didn't want to do any work and didn't want to earn the money that he was paid to do, just want to sit over there with his fucking title belt and look like he's fucking cool. And that's why some of this is probably not the best. But then when it came time for him to assault a child, he's like, oh, I'm in. I'm going to tag me in so I can assault this child.
I'm going to beat up this fucking kid.
I'm going to press slam him.
Van Hammer all of a sudden.
I'm going to grab him by the gulus and by the throat and hold him over my head. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden, Mr. Feeney comes in, and as in a absolute feat of athleticism, he hops over the ropes. Or when I say hop over the rope, he pushes them all the way down to where his knees are, and then just steps over. Because these ropes are loose as shit. And then Mr. Feeney begs off Vader and threatens to let everybody know that his name is Leslie.
Which in later shows,
okay, they
refer to him by name as Francis.
Mm-hmm.
So they fuck up the name along the way.
But they don't keep continuity?
Nope.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking. Considering the writers didn't even watch any amateur freestyle wrestling.
Really, any wrestling.
Or
period.
any pro wrestling.
Like, not just amateur wrestling. Just no wrestling.
They might not have watched any Baywatch either.
Yeah,
like,
definitely not.
They probably didn't even watch Baywatch.
So do you think that, I mean, this is like the year before, do you think that Yasmin Bleeth was there and old girl was like, I've always wanted to be a Baywatch girl, and she was like, come with me.
Come with me. Come with me, youngin'. Come with me.
Let me teach you the ways.
Teach you the ways.
Of the watch.
Which apparently Yasmin Bleeth hated being on Baywatch.
Yeah?
Fucking hated it.
Bet she liked that money, though.
I guarantee she liked that fucking money. Also, too, allegedly, according to Brickhouse Brown, Yasmin Bleeth, she liked to party.
Yeah. She liked that brick house.
She liked that brick house. She also liked that cocaine.
Allegedly.
No, not that crack. That cocaine. Okay. That good stuff. Allegedly, according to Brickhouse Brown. Yeah. So take that.
You will.
Take that as a grain of salt that's on the beaches where Baywatch was filmed. Okay, like there's just. I'm just relaying to you
what was said by this man.
What was said on a video and released by highspots.com without any disclaimer put on the front of it to protect us from legal action from people like Yasmin Bleeth, Deion Sanders, and Lawrence Taylor, and Charles Barkley. So,
and everybody else playing Mud Dog or whatever.
So I'm just saying, if we want to discuss how badly body slammed age in some areas, there's some Brickhouse Brown interviews that don't age very well, and they happened a few years ago.
I don't think they aged well at the time they were said.
They did not. They were said merely for shock value. Mm-hmm. Him and Jamie Dundee were going at it as far as committing slander. Mm-hmm. So Mr. Feeney was old enough to have taught old Leon.
Leslie Francis.
Yes, Leslie Francis. Wouldn't it be interesting if instead of Harley Race, Mr. Feeney was a manager of Vader in WCW?
Oh, man. Slacked around a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I told that motherfucker.
Get to class.
Get the money. Get the class. Mr. White, we need to have a discussion over here. Mr. Bischoff gave you a finish that he specifically wanted you to enact. Now, what is your issues with said finish? So, the match happens. Sort of, it is what it is. I'm sure old Leon was grumpy about the entire filming of this. Mm-hmm. concludes. Corey realizes he can't be on the wrestling team anymore, hands the jacket back to Candy. She runs off and becomes a Baywatch babe.
Mm-hmm.
And then
because Candy follows the jacket.
Candy follows the jacket, and then Corey and Topanga have their sweet little moment.
Mm-hmm. And they have this really stupid yearbook quote.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just takes it also. Just like a fucking man.
Yeah, like a man. Like, ditto. Where do you want to eat? Wherever you want to eat.
Yeah,
What do you want to do? Do you want to take a shower? Yeah, sure. Do you want to take a shower together? I mean, yeah. Do you want to?
Whatever.
We don't have to? Oh,
just give me what you're having.
Yeah, just give me what you're having. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. So, and then we get the end credit scene with Griff and Feeney. They're all in detention, and then they got Robert Goulet to come play in detention, and that is the end of the episode.
That it is. One thing that I remember that we didn't talk about was the protein shake that his dad randomly made him.
Yeah.
That made his brother sick?
I think he just drank it. I think but he ran out the door.
Yes, and then you hear Feeney go, not on my azaleas.
Oh, okay. All right. That was.
It made it sound like he was going to go outside to shit. Or maybe puke.
I think puke.
But it's like it was just like protein powder and eggs and some stuff.
Yeah, because that's what you made in the Navy.
Yeah, that's it. That's kind of what you do now.
Yeah,
shit ain't changed.
Mm-hmm. That's what Caleb Collins doing that shit right now, but he's putting that fucking mushroom shit in there to make his brain.
Mushroom powder because he thinks it makes him sharper. You fucking marks and your alpha brain mushrooms.
Listen, it works for me. That motherfucker has forgotten where his wallet is right fucking now. Like that fucking key that I just put down on the table to give you back. Like, he had my key, and I'm just like, Lord knows where that fucking key is right now.
Might not even be in this state.
Yeah, fucking everybody. And the thing is, too, is like he had 2 keys to Ron Hall. I'm like, why the fuck would you give him that much responsibility?
Yeah.
This is the same motherfucker.
Well, he probably had like Rachel's key, and because one time he's called me, he's like, hey man, I need you to come let me in the building. I locked myself out.
I can't tell how many times we've like left high spots and then we've gotten up the street to the light, just up the road.
Fuck.
And he goes, oh fuck, I forgot my wallet. Motherfucker. Or like, oh fuck, I forgot my keys. Or oh fuck, I forgot my phone. Like, when you're going to leave, like when, okay, in this location, I am done in this location. I'm going to go on.
To a different location.
To a different location. I'm not coming back to this location for days. Where is my phone? Yeah. Where is my wallet? Where are my keys? Those are the 3 things. Those are the 3 things.
Because ideally, if you forgot something, you can just buy it at that point.
Exactly.
Just buy another one.
That is the thing that always calms you down. But this motherfucker doesn't think it's just fucking like. Surprised he's not just walking out there with his dick hanging out and just be like, oh, fuck, I don't know.
I forget where his dick. Where's my dick?
Where's my fucking pants at? I don't fucking know where pants are. Fuck, man. Fuck. Sorry, man. I forgot my pants.
We'll just get somewhere. I'll buy some new ones. Oh, fuck, my wallet's in my pants.
Oh, fuck. Oh. So, yeah. He's on something that makes him smarter? Good. Yeah. Because I've told you my experience with edibles, right?
No.
I was given an edible in Las Vegas where it was legal.
Yeah.
I took one, and all of a sudden I became super forgetful. And I go, I hate this because edibles just make me like Caleb Conley. I don't want to fucking feel like Caleb. I don't like being like Caleb, so I don't fucking like this high. I don't fucking not my bag, man. Not my bag. Nor was this episode really.
No,
other than the fact that it was 23 minutes, man. 23 minutes, but I still don't get why people fucking still love Boy Meets World. Love it enough that you can have Girl Meets World, just so we could see, so you can jerk off to your fantasies about Topanga now that she's a grown woman.
Now that it's not weird.
Now that it's not fucking weird, but none of the fucking sex in this show was not fucking weird. Like making out with a high school student and Vader just grabbing a young man's dick in a throat. Like that's
totally fine.
Totally fine. And then, of course, Mr. Turner living with a child. So we're not going to discuss what may or may not have happened late at night and what he was exposed to.
Literally.
Literally. Yeah, we're not going to discuss that at all. We're just going to glaze right on next episode.
Yeah.
Mark Jacobs production. So, do we want to go down the rabbit hole of more Boy Meets World? And see the other Vader appearances?
Not right now.
No, I mean...
we kind of have to at this point.
I think we have to. I think we went down...
And luckily, they're only fucking 20 minutes. And how long have we been recording?
We're at 50 minutes.
We're at 50 minutes?
50 minutes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can go do a couple of those, get a couple more 50 minutes out of these, and only watch 20 minutes of content.
Yeah,
shit on Vader a couple more times.
Oh fuck! Don't give me a fucking. Please give me a fucking reason. I was like, don't give me a reason. I'm like, no, wait a minute, that's what I live for.
Yeah, that's your thing now.
Old T-Bone Duffy. I love it every time I post. Usually, fucking old T-Bone, man. I dig how every once in a while, if it's anything slightly related to Vader, like if we just talk about WCW from 1994.
Yeah.
He'll just put hashtag fuck Vader. Like I fucking anything attached to like Vader in the slightest. If Vader was in the mere vicinity of whatever show we're talking about, he always puts in the comment section hashtag fuck Vader. So T-Bone Duffy's trying to get it trending. So maybe you should try the same. Because if you want to know how I feel about Vader, listen to the 10 Bell Pod about him.
Yeah.
I make a compelling case. Now, don't get me wrong, my co-hosts, they make a compelling case on why we should love and honor and cherish Vader. I make a different opinion, and it's through my personal opinions and experiences. So that's worth something. Mm-hmm. So, and I make my point there. So that's that. Zane, anything else about this?
I think we did it, man.
I think we did. I'm trying to think when this comes out, so it's not going to be this Thursday.
Or next Thursday, be the Thursday after.
So really all we got is GalaxyCon coming. Yeah. We got March
and then
coming
March,
up.
Whatever that's going to be.
Which I got some cool shit coming up in March.
Go on.
I'm going to be wrestling in Nitro, West Virginia, excuse me, March 6th for my good buddy Brad Thomas. He has a church up there, and he's going to have Bobby Eaton, Jimmy Valiant, George South, Heat Seekers are going to be there, Eric Darkstorm. I'm going to be wrestling, I believe, John Noble, I think is the guy who actually trained Brad, or one of the guys that trained Brad, or one of his friends. I vaguely remember John a little bit, but I've heard his name before being a good little hand. And Brad Thomas was just, so fucking good. Like, of anybody that should have, done anything, like if Brad Thomas came around today, he would have been fucking signed. He'd be one of those people wearing fucking black shorts and a gray t-shirt in the performance center. Yeah, he was that good. He's damn fucking good. Just came around a wrong time. And then March the 7th, I'll be wrestling and making my All-Star Wrestling return. Gary Dameron's All-Star Wrestling in, I believe it's going to be in Madison, West Virginia. So I'll be in West Virginia for like 2 days, and I'm not happy about that, but I am happy to see Brad Thomas, and actually excited to go work for Gary again. He's been doing a lot of good things up in West Virginia. His shows have been drawing very well, so I'm very excited to go back there. So if you're in the West Virginia area, make sure you come check me out and all that. So information's there. So what do you got saying?
The first weekend, Caleb and I will be on our way down to Barbados, hopefully. That is the plan. It has been the plan for a while. We'll be wrestling in Barbados. March 19th, we'll have your barbershop window show. Mm-hmm.
More information coming on that.
Yeah, and we got a little bit of PWX coming in March 21st. We got New Gen Wrestling in Virginia.
Next Gen Wrestling.
There we go. That's what sounded weird.
March 22nd.
Next Gen in Virginia. Mm-hmm. And then Revolver last weekend.
Nope, that's been changed now.
What?
Yes.
When does it change?
It fucked me up too. It's been changed to March 14th.
I can do that.
So, yep. Well, it made my life a little bit more difficult.
Oh, yeah? Where are you? We'll talk about that. It doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, if you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, Viz Art Video will be running a show March 13th. It's a fantastic show that has Jen Snyder, Jordan Scott Huggins, and it was also my birthday. And I booked I booked some of my favorite comedians and a couple of
my can't go to your birthday show?
Can't even go to my fucking birthday show.
Why don't you just fly?
That's more money. I'm trying to, if I drive, I'll make more money.
But it's your birthday, Jake.
No.
Then you can ride back with us.
Don't get me wrong, I thought about it, but like flying one way there, it's just better. Just better this way.
We'll talk about it.
We'll fucking talk about it.
And then, so Revolver's in there at some point.
Revolver is March 14th. Tickets are going on sale, have been on sale since February 3rd. So make sure you check that out.
That one's in Clive.
Yes. He's going back to the old building, which is now the Horizons Event Center. That's a cool fucking place. It's a large fucking venue. So please come out and check that out. I imagine that place is going to be slam packed. So it'll be one of the bigger crowds you'll wrestle in front of.
And then after that, we get geared up for...
Fucking WrestleCon.
WrestleCon.
WrestleCon at the very beginning of April. If you haven't found out about WrestleCon, make sure you check it out. This is going to be the time and How Did This Book History where we plug WrestleCon every time we get on a live microphone, because if we don't, Michael Bikio will murder us in our fucking sleep. That's going to be a big deal. And sounds like there's going to be some more time for me to take some more bookings. So
That's good.
Because I guess we're going to get a temp agency to do some of the groundwork during the convention. So I may branch out past like the bookings that we have with Fest and Super Show and Penis Party and other such things that are around, and maybe I'll see if I can't get a couple more. So if you know of anybody any promotion that you're going to go see Mania weekend and you want to see me or Zane or Caleb anywhere, tweet at that place and we'll get up and we'll maybe make it happen. We're going to be right there. We're just within walking distance of everything. Everything's real close to everybody, so we can hit as much as possible.
Yep.
So
we're there, ready to rock.
Ready to rock like Raider Rock.
Oof. Goiter and all.
It's fat growth. It's not a goiter.
It's fucking his twin brother that just lived.
Fat growth, all right?
What do you think a goiter is?
Not a fat growth?
Okay, I don't know.
I don't know either, but what?
Message in, tell us what a goiter is, guys.
Whatever it is. But, and of course, GalaxyCon, as we said before.
Yeah.
So we got to GalaxyCon and WrestleCon, like, chances are we're probably there.
Yeah.
In the next couple
we're at most cons.
Anything that's got con at the end of it, like,
wrestling related, we're there.
If there's a con going down.
Yeah. You can find us.
You could find us, for sure. But where you can find me on social media is at ManScoutManning on Twitter and Instagram. So if you want to get up with me and let us know which episodes Vader is on so we can discuss it later. Also, if you have any suggestions, please, suggestions for wrestling shows, we're open and taking those right now. Please let us know. We're open to suggestions. Any favorite comics you want to have back on the show, we're open to that too. We just had Shane Lane, so Shane Lane Stalker, we've already met your requests. So
You're welcome.
You're welcome. So if anybody is a stalker of Brian Penn or Crystal Ramey, let us know and we'll get them back on the show. But if there's any other shows you want us to discuss, even in pop culture, those are pretty the easy ones and stuff like that. If there's something we've missed or some little niche thing, let us just holler at us on social media, especially me at ManScoutManning or ManScoutManning at yahoo.com. As always, make sure you subscribe, leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher. Thank you again. David Ader 70 and Keaton's on Stitcher. Thank you so much. Hopefully I've already sent off your free t-shirt. But like I said, guys, make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever podcasts are available. And I think I've done stretching this episode out to almost an hour. That's the closest we're going to get at about 58 minutes. This has been another edition of How Did This Get Booked?
Woo.
Jake, it's Vader. It's Vader, Jake.
I told that motherfucker this episode is over. Take the money.